In today's ever-changing digital world, our brain's ability to focus on a single task has grown increasingly difficult. That's why in today's society, your focus is your most valuable asset, right together with your private data. This is especially true today as billions of dollars are spent to make you lose sight of time. Every social platform's purpose is to capture and hold your attention. Your attention energy is rapidly spent throughout this process, which is why you can't seem to focus on anything significant. So in this video, we'll go through a few tactics that we utilize to control and master our focus levels. Welcome to Thrivetastic. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. 1. Build an imaginary wall around yourself or even a physical one if possible. Going alone into a room to focus is the oldest trick in the book because it almost always works for everyone, but that isn't always an option. So the next best thing to do is create an imaginary room. You must respect what you're doing and safeguard it from the outside influence. You are important, and what you do is significant, and those who ignore it should go for a walk. People may label you as arrogant and self-important, but at the end of the day, you're the one who gets things done. They'll notice you're onto something sooner or later, and you don't have to do it forever, just for a few hours. 2. Go into mental airplane mode. There are hundreds of productivities and focus apps available, but just one reigns supreme, and it comes pre-installed on your phone. It's known as airplane mode. It only does one thing. It forces you to go off the grid. There will be no notifications. You are completely alone. Now consider doing the same thing with your mind. Assume you have a toggle switch that turns on and off airplane mode, and instead of notifications, there are random ideas that demand you pay attention to them. So, go to airplane mode and go about your business. 3. Make yourself unavailable. The more difficult it is for people to contact you, the easier it is to focus on what is truly important. Those around you may have the best intentions when they show you the 9th Instagram story with a happy dog dancing. But don't let them make you as difficult to reach as you possibly go, both literally and mentally. When you make yourself available at all times, you're begging others to annoy you. The majority of your time should be spent offline, in all senses of the world. 4. Listen to music without lyrics. Multiple studies have shown that listening to music, particularly music you enjoy, enhances your focus. You've probably heard of the Mozart effect, which demonstrated that students who listened to Mozart performed better on examinations than those who didn't. Music affects your mood and also anchors your mind, preventing it from wandering as easily. As an added bonus, there are numerous playlists on both YouTube and Spotify that are specifically built for this purpose. 5. Find your own personal rhythm. Everyone thinks and acts at a different pace, so find and follow your own. A wonderful technique to find your rhythm is to begin working as slowly as you can without looking ridiculous. You'll notice that time slows down, your anxiety levels drop, and your focus improves dramatically. When you have a significant amount of pressure on your shoulders, it may be difficult to focus in a time crunch. You may believe that you must move as quickly as possible to complete your task, but this is when you must slow down. You're not Atlas, and you're not carrying the world on your shoulders. 6. Leverage the early hours of the day. Your peak attention levels are normally around 11 a.m. The early morning hours are ideal for honing your focus, but they are also the most typical time when people deplete it through mindless social media scrolling. If you have the luxury of choosing how you allocate your work time, make the most out of it in the morning. It's also important to remember to respect your circadian rhythm. Some people feel awake at different times of the day, and around 1/3 of the population is classified as night owls. Determine your early morning hours and make good use of them. 7. Keep it shorter than 3 hours per session. In reality, you can't focus for more than 3 hours at a time. Even while it may seem like a stretch, your brain is simply not designed for that type of intense work for extended periods. Nobody genuinely works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Actually, according to a study, the majority of people on the 9 to 5 schedule work for approximately 3 hours a day in total. So if you can focus for 3 hours, you've done well. Knowing this allows you to schedule full focus sessions. If If you want to be sustainable, you should have 1 to 3 focus sessions per day. Sure, you may have done so much work in an all-nighter last year, but realistically, you can't do that every time there's something important to do. And this applies on a macro level as well. High performers typically devote 3 to 5 months to a project before taking a couple of months off to recharge. 8. Practice spatial reasoning. Your focus is generated by your mind, and your brain power functions similarly to any other muscle. It gets stronger as you train it. We discovered spatial reasoning to be an excellent method for accomplishing this. It refers to the ability to mentally perceive and manipulate 3D objects and shapes. Scientists have even utilized this to help young students improve their mathematical skills. It's not necessary, but it could be a good practice approach for assessing and improving your mental ability. 9. Digital minimalism. We have introduced this topic a few months ago, and we absolutely adore it. It's something so simple and natural, yet so powerful when put into action. We've been using it continuously since then, and it's fantastic. Essentially, you don't require 80% of what you believe you do. Hardware, software, websites, tool apps, and everything in between are included. It just takes a few things for you to function as a regular human being. Therefore, set up a time or day in your week to focus solely on those things. Yes, we know you spent a lot of money on your setup to maximize productivity, but if you want to fully focus, stick to the basics. It will improve your concentration tremendously. 10. Never ever multitask. Ever. Being mediocre at numerous things at the same time is referred to as multitasking. But what you're actually doing is task switching, or shifting from one activity to another quickly and losing focus in the process. You can't just focus on anything right away. It takes some time to get used to it. Consider pushing 5 balls up a hill with one hand behind your back. You expend more energy fighting not to let the balls roll back down the hill, no matter how hard you push each ball. You're not making much progress, are you? And to wrap up today's video, here's a bonus tip. Assume you need to write something, but have been staring at a blank Google Docs page for the past hour. You just can't seem to concentrate and your mind is running in all directions. You've barely gotten the title down and you're already out of steam. The trick here is to start with bad work. Simply jot down whatever comes to mind. Don't worry about grammar or ensuring that everything makes sense. Simply sit there and perform a bad job. Your mind will eventually begin to focus on what you're doing and thoughts will begin to flow. You'll be able to turn lousy work into great work, and this applies regardless of what you're trying to focus on. Simply be bad at first. It's far easier to modify something bad than it is to come up with something good right away these days. Thank you for watching this Thrivetastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrivetastic video for you to watch next.